What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Night 2 review of WrestleMania 39, or WrestleMania Goes Hollywood Part 2. as I said, not the Part 2 of the review, but Part 2 as in this the second time they had gone Hollywood. Well, I gotta say, they shot in with the night 1, because night 2 was not that good. Well, I want to say, I probably just made it seem like the whole night was horrible. It was good, but it was just, there were some booking decisions and some lackluster matches. But there were some matches that were good. They kicked it off with whatchamacallit, The Miz and Snoop Dogg again. Reintroduced him. They had Kevin Hart do the whole intro monologue, and had them to welcome everybody to night 2 before kicking it off with Omas versus Brock Lesnar. Nothing to really say here. This was literally like a 5-minute match, or maybe 10. It was, but it was pretty much from the opening bell. Omas was dominating a little bit, then eventually Brock Lesnar did get the German suplexes and a F5 Omas, and 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar is your winner. Not the greatest way to start. Like the John Cena match that started off night 1 was better than this match that started off night 2. Then we got the women's showcase match. Not as good as the men's showcase match, but it was still okay. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, but it was still okay. Shayna and Ronda would get the victory here. Yes, nothing really. These first 2 matches ain't nothing really to talk about. Nothing really to talk about. Oh, segue. If you don't know, the WWE, along with, I guess, WrestleMania helping the deal go along, sold themselves. Well, the company is sold. WWE has been sold to Endeavor, which is like the company that runs UFC, and now UFC, or I think UFC, they sold to UFC. I don't know how it went. Either way, WWE and UFC would now be under the same umbrella, and they would combine to form a new company. And I think they would say like it would be like 80-something% the shares of stock would be with Endeavor, and whoever still have stock in WWE would have like 40%, or it was like 40 to 49%, something like that. But yeah, that's like the other big headline over the weekend, that not only WrestleMania but WWE sold. But back to the matter at hand. Then we got the next match, which was finally something good. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and this match was a banger. This is like, if you just would have ignored the first 2 matches, this match could have been easily like the first match of the night that really kicked off WrestleMania, because they were just beating each other. This wasn't even a wrestling match. This was just 3 just big guys beating the hell out of each other. I mean, knife edge chops. All their chests are red. Man, it was just a slobber knocker of a match. Well, I think Sheamus had the match won plenty of times, and there was even a time when you for sure knew that he was getting a 3 count. But Drew pulled Sheamus off, and they started brawling outside the ring. But in the end, Gunther, I think he did a power bomb to Sheamus, and then he power bombed to Sheamus. Then he power bombed Drew. Then he power bombed Sheamus on top of Drew and pinned Drew to get the victory. Like I said, this match was easily, it can be considered the best match on the night. We will get the next match, which is Asuka versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. And this was a good match. This was good. I want to say it wasn't as good as the Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley match, but it wasn't no slouch either. And shouts out to that little girl that came out with Bianca, the contortionist girl. Man, she had a rough day when she came out, because it's all over the social media and stuff. You can even go to WWE's YouTube channel, and they got it up there. Triple H talk about how the little girl lost her mother. That unfortunately lost her mother that Sunday morning, and she still came out and did and performed because she didn't want to miss the opportunity, as Triple H said. And that little girl deserves everything in the world. Like the world, everybody owes her just, the pain of losing, not just losing a loved one, but your mother, and she's just so young. Man, I was, when Triple H was tearing up, I was tearing up because that's hurtful. And yeah, that was painful. But you know what? I'm proud of WWE for giving her the opportunity and showering her, giving her just nothing but love, because that's all. At this point, she needed every ounce of love. She just, but I know her mother was proud and looking down on her and just was happy to see her daughter on that stage. But yeah, Asuka and Bianca had a good match. I said Becky, but yeah, they had a good match. It was good. That, you know, Asuka is still Asuka. I didn't, you know why I didn't know that Asuka had. I didn't never pay attention to it, but Asuka has instead of undefeated streak, she has a losing streak at WrestleMania, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't realize that. That all the time she won the championship, it was never at WrestleMania. She was always she's been defeated. Like they said, she's like 0-4 or 0-4. But yeah, I guess I just spoiled it with the fourth being Sunday when she lost to Bianca Belair, which Bianca Belair retained the title. We will get this next part was so unnecessary. So there is a match, but to get there, I have to tell you what happened. So just like on Saturday, this time the Miz argued with Snoop Dogg because he was mad that Snoop Dogg put him in that match against oh god, I gotta turn on to see who he went up against. Pat McAfee. So he was mad about that because he was saying he was in an expensive suit, and that the suit he's wearing now is even more expensive than the one he was. And I'll tell you why he said that in a minute. But yeah, he was getting on Snoop Dogg, and you know Snoop Dogg was like, "Oh, my bad," and he was like, "Yeah, what, you're bad? Is that your way of apologizing?" He said, "Well, that's not good enough. This is my city. This is my people." Blah blah. He said, "No, this ain't yours. This is our city. This is our people." When I said my bad, I didn't mean my bad. I mean my bad. And when he was trying to say it was my bad because I did it again, and this time, Shane McMahon returned. I'll sit and laugh because that's it. It's serious what I'm about to say next, but it was just so unnecessary that it would have never happened if he just would have stayed on. But yeah, so Shane McMahon in the next match, which was supposed to be The Miz versus Shane McMahon, and I'm gonna tell you why I said supposed to be. So Shane McMahon comes down, you know, he thanks everybody for the warm reception he got, you know, and he really did get it. Like, he got a good reception from the crowd. And basically, Snoop Dogg did it again. He made the match, and that's why he was saying, "No, I can't do it. This suit is even more expensive than yesterday's suit." And he was trying to say he couldn't wrestle, but you know, Snoop Dogg said, "You take care of this business now. I'm out here. This is what you do." And thus, we had a match for about a minute. And I don't mean like, I'm not trying to be funny. No, literally, it was like a minute. You want to know why it was a minute? Was because Shane, after a couple of ridiculous looking hits that he gave to The Miz, he came off the I'm sorry. That's not funny. He came off the top rope and suffered a leg injury. Because once he came off the top rope and tried to stand up to fight The Miz, he kept falling back down. And I don't know if he broke in so much as broke his leg, but I think he might have tore something. And so Snoop Dogg, they had to improvise because Snoop Dogg would get back in the ring, and then he was talking, "You okay, dog?" He said, "This how you gonna do, my boy?" And then Snoop Dogg punches The Miz. So now it becomes Snoop Dogg versus The Miz, and Snoop Dogg basically does the people elbow and pins The Miz, and thus we had a very just unnecessary segment where the match was The Miz versus Shane to The Miz versus Snoop Dogg, and guess it was all fun. But then we get back serious, because we got the Hell in a Cell Demon, or I should say Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor. And that's how it was too. This wasn't just like, at first it was billed as Edge versus Finn Balor, and then Finn Balor said no, it says Edge wanted the Demon Finn Balor. He said, okay, I'm gonna bring my Demon, and then Edge brought his Brood Edge. So this was literally not regular Edge, but Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor, because Edge had all Brood gear on. And he even came out with a new Brood Edge thing. Was it like he had Gang Grill's theme music anymore? He had like a different theme music, but the Titantron said Brood Edge. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. They gave him an alter ego. They gave him back his alter ego, Brood Edge. Otherwise it was a good match. It was a very good match, hard hitting. It was very brutal. Finn Balor legit got busted open when Edge threw like the ladder at Finn Balor, and for real busted him open to where they had to stop the match, and he was like leaking everywhere to patch him up. But he played the demon part good. Like nothing. He was like in amount to Bray Wyatt. When Bray Wyatt just took all those finishers and was not registered and stuff, people started booing. Finn Balor was somewhat like that, where he was getting punished, but nothing would keep him down. And even when like Edge had him stuck in between the cage, like he used kendo sticks to pin him and lock him in the cage a little bit, he was just sitting like a zombie. I was like, what is he doing? That was so goofy. But in the end, Edge would pick up the victory using a concerto to beat Demon Finn Balor. This is the second loss Demon Finn Balor has suffered. I think the last one was against Roman Reigns. So yeah. Then we get to the main event. The very most sour part of the night. The part of the night that made me question the booking of Triple H. Because when I saw this, I'm like, did you like Vince McMahon book this ending? Because that's not how you should have done it. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. It was a good match. Everything in the match was good. The storytelling, the moves, the near falls after near falls after near falls. Everything was good. Everything was good. This match was perfect. Perfect. In every detail. No, okay. A little bit of a boys reference. But, Homelander. Anyway. It was perfect up until the last couple of seconds. Referee gets knocked down. People are the Usos come out and interfere. Solo tried to interfere too many times. They got ejected. This was before the referee got knocked down, so add that part to it. Usos try to interfere, but Kevin Owens and them come out, beat up the Usos, chase them off, and then there was super kick and Haluna kick. There was super kick. There was stunner and Haluna kick Roman Reigns, That was another near fall because Cody tried to get the pin off of that because he was like, he just saw Roman down and crawled over and tried to get the pin, but then he kicked out. But Roman was about to lose. He really was, because Cody was about to hit the 3 crossroads and thus seal Roman's doom as losing the title. Until it was getting ready to hit the 3rd one, and it was painfully obvious he was waiting on a cue, because he didn't just immediately hit the 3rd one. He just kept taunting Paul Heyman and bagging up until he backed up into one of the turnbuckles, to which Solo Sikoa would come back out in the hood. I don't know why he had the hood on, because it was obvious it was him once he hit him with the Samoan Spike, a la Umaga. Roman Reigns with the spear, and 1, 2, 3. He is the winner. Roman Reigns retained. Nobody lost their title. Every title that was on the line, nobody lost the title. And the 2 people who should have lost was just Gunther, and maybe Gunther, but mostly Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns should have been. I'm glad they kept it on Bianca, because it's a little controversial to say, but black champions doesn't get too much sign and get the short end of the stick unless you're The Rock or somebody. But Roman, like you played this story to enough. There's enough. You played this story to. Oh my God, they played this story so much. And then it was the same freaking. It's like I'm getting tired because it's the same freaking finish. How many times do we gotta see someone cheat and Roman gets the victory? Either it's Solo or it's the Usos. I'm getting tired of that same finish. Yes, there have been some finishes where Roman just straight up beat the opponent. But when it's an opponent that you know could beat Roman, and that is going to beat Roman, they choose that particular finish. Because if they just have Roman straight up beat Cody, then it would kill Cody's mystique and his momentum. But you already did that by having him lose, because now for the winners of the Royal Rumble, only one Royal Rumble winner got the title, and that was Rhea Ripley. Cody did not get the title. I don't know how long I could keep watching wrestling at this point. I know they just sold the company or whatnot, but I am not. I will let you guys know. I probably said this already before in the video. I am not a big fan of basically what they're doing with the brands. When they got away from the brand split the first time, wrestling to me was boring. I even did start watching for a good chunk of time. I stopped watching WWE until maybe a couple of months before I heard that the brand split was returning. And I think it was either a couple months or maybe a year before. But I quit watching for a long time. Like that big chunk of time I stopped watching because I'm not a fan of it. It's boring. Raw got boring to me. I think everything was happening on Raw, but not SmackDown. And now it's vice versa. Everything is happening on SmackDown, not Raw, and it's just it's everybody just showing up everywhere. There's no structure, but yet you still got 2 separate titles. You still got a SmackDown and a Raw Women's Championship. At this point, I can't. I needed Roman Reigns to lose. I needed them to split the title so both shows can have separate storylines and separate titles. And everybody, I can't. And I can't. We got Roman. Roman's been champion for 3 years now, and I don't care about Bruno Sammartino's record. Honestly, I don't. I honestly don't. I don't care. I know that's probably what they try to do. They try to, at least until he breaks Bruno Sammartino's record. It's not deserved at this point. Bruno Sammartino deserves to keep his record intact. Just like how you keep feeding Charlotte Flair a title reign so she can break the record, it's still not deserved. If this is the way you gotta do stuff, then it's that's not it's not going to matter to me because it don't feel organic. You're forcing it at this point. And I know Triple H said in the press conference that there's still more. We just get into the final chapter. There's more story to tell. But by the time he loses the title, then I don't know. I'm rambling too long. This video too long. I'm sorry. As you can see, I'm very pissed off. I'm going to give this night 2 a. I'm giving it a 6. Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, Big Us, because night 2 wasn't just that good. It really wasn't. Like, for me, the only matches I enjoyed were the Drew, Asuka. But yeah, I only enjoy the like super into it. I was only into the Drew, the Gunther Intercontinental Championship match, the Raw Women's Championship match, Demon Finn Balor versus Brew Edge, and Cody versus Roman. Like the Omas and Brock Lesnar match was really not necessary. They should have really did the women's tag team the tag team women's tag team showcase better. Even if I knew already that Ronda and Shayna was winning, it was still kind of like, yeah. That whole segment with 7 Man just didn't need to happen. But yeah, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Night 1 was the better night of the 2. Like I needed like. In hindsight now, I needed Roman's match to be on night 1 because none of these matches, I won't say none of them. The Intercontinental Championship match, the Raw Women's Championship match, Brew Edge versus Demon Finn Balor, and Roman versus Cody could have competed with that, but that you had I think there was way more matches. I think there were 8 matches for night 1. It was only 7 for this one. And all the matches in night 1 was good. Was good to great. And none of these matches in night 2 was. And like I said, I've been rambling so long. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of night 2. And if you enjoyed it, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my... For all of my WWE wrestling reviews. And leave me, and also in the comments, tell me what you think about their new merger between UFC and WWE. Also, if you enjoyed the video so much, want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit those buttons, and as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. Sorry for the long rant, but I'm really super pissed about what they did with Roman and Cody, and especially after what I heard happened because I'm doing this. I got to this a little late. But what I'm hearing from what's going on with Monday Night Raw is the booking between them two did not get any better. But, yeah. Peace.